Hi, I'm Alex. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today we're starting a video that's been going around the internet for a while, and to be fully honest, I tried to start this 2 weeks ago and failed. So we are going to be doing, as you see in the title, reading every series that I'm in the middle of. I have so many series that I want to start, but I'm already in the middle of 16, so we need to take care of that first. So in full transparency, the first time I tried to start this was right before I started the tandem read for Throne of Glass. I still had Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, Assassin's Blade, and Kingdom of Ash left, and I got so sucked into reading them that I kept forgetting to film. So sorry that that's not part one, but don't worry, we still have 16 more series to go. So some of these are things that I am really excited about. Some of them I'm less excited about, so I honestly don't know if they're going to be priorities. We'll see. But I figured first we could go through this list, which I'll type up on my notes app so it can be right here or something. Probably right here. And let's talk about the books that I need to read. So first series is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I just have the final gambit left in this one. I'm waiting on my library hold for it, and I'm excited to get to it. The next series is the Letters of Enchantment series by Rebecca Ross. I need to read Ruthless Vows. And then the next one is the Scholomance series by Naomi Novik. I've only read the first book in the series, so I still have 2 more to read there. And then Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I read the first one. I own Crooked Kingdom, have not picked it up yet. Need to do that. The next series is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have 2 books left, 2 down, 2 to go. Next one is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I still need to read One of Us is Back. I've read the first 2, but not that one. That one I'm not super thrilled to read, but I have to finish it. Next one is Maple Hills by Hannah Grace. That series, I need to read Wildfire, especially before Daydream comes out. And Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I have had Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home 25 pages read since 2022, so we're 2 years in the making of me reading the series. I still have that and Daisy Hates the Great Undoing left to read. In the Avalon Bay series, I have 2 books in this to read. I read The Good Girl Complex and really liked it, so I definitely want to get to the other 2. And in the Deathcast series by Adam Silvera, I need to read the prequel, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I need to read Family of Liars. I think this is a prequel, but I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that. And What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I have 1 book left there. In the Less series, I need to read Less is Lost, and I just wrote the author's initials, which does not help me here at all. I think it's Andrew Sean Greer. Could be wrong. The next book is The Rosie Project. They came out with a second book to it 10 years later. It just came out, I think, last year. So I definitely need to read that. I liked how the first one ended, but didn't love how it started, so we'll see how I feel about the second one. The next one is 'Tis the Season for Revenge. I've read 2 of the 3 books in the series. The last one I have left is Cruel Summer, and then the last one is the Windy City series. I read Mile High, one of my last books of 2023, so I need to read The Right Move and caught up. So here's the game plan. I want to start with the series that I only have 1 book left in. So like I said, I'm waiting for my hold on the final gambit. I'm hoping that I get it in the next 2 to 3 days. That would be amazing. And I just downloaded Cruel Summer on my Kindle. I'm about to go get my nails done, so hopefully I can get some reading done while I'm there. Morgan Elizabeth's books typically go pretty fast for me, so I'm hoping that that is the same as normal. But we'll see what else we get into in this video. I do want to read Ruthless Vows for sure. I don't know when I'm going to read it. Also, I know Family of Liars is probably going to be fast and it's on my TBR cart. We'll see. So I started Cruel Summer while I was getting my nails done, like I said I was gonna do, and I made it to page 57, which is pretty good for an hour. But there was a quote in literally chapter 1 that I simply need to read to you because it already made me like this book a lot. So the bartender comes over to this table of girls and says, "Need anything?" And this girl's friends order like fries, and he looks at Cammie and says, "What about for you?" And she says, "What about me?" And he says, "What can I get you?" And she says, "Oh, nothing, I'm good." And he says, "Nothing? You should eat something." She says, "We'll tip you either way, I promise." And he said, "Not worried about a tip, Angel. Worried about the fact that you had 3 shots in 30 minutes. You need something to sop it all up." How kind of this man. What bartender cares about that? I'm gonna like this book. Okay, I just finished Cruel Summer by Morgan Elizabeth. Also, my husband is watching The Sopranos downstairs very loudly, so if you can hear that, sorry. I rated it 3 stars. I think it was my least favorite in the series for sure. The first is 'Tis the Season for Revenge, the second is Cruel Summer, and then the third is The Fall of Bradley Reed. And I don't know, I didn't love it. It felt very rushed. There were a lot of like typos and just words that you can tell like the word's a real word, but why like they used the wrong one or like grammatical errors or just sentences that didn't like fully make sense. I normally love Morgan Elizabeth's books, but something about this just didn't like hit the same. See, yeah, that lighting's way better. Anyways, so moving on, I have 2 audiobooks and 2 Kindle books to choose from for continuing series. One of the audiobooks I think I mentioned before is The Final Gambit, so I think I definitely want to start that. My hold from the library is not ready, but it is one of those books that's included in Spotify Premium, so I'll probably listen to that. And then I downloaded the Kindle books for Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home, which I know the new Magnolia Parks book comes out in February, so I kind of want to be caught up before then, but I also don't particularly care to read it around its release date. And then I also downloaded the book for Here's to Us and I got these all on Libby, by the way, but Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, and I think that that's what I'm going to start to physically read next because I know it'll be fast. I think the first book took me like 3.5 hours to get through, and I've been curious to read it ever since, and it's sitting on my shelf, so it'll be nice to like cross off another book on my like physical TBR. So I think that's what we're gonna start, although Magnolia Parks is sitting there waiting for me. And then I also downloaded the audiobook for what's it called? The Rosie Effect by Graeme Simsion. So that may end up part of this video. We'll see where I get to, but we're going on to Here's to Us. I'm laying on my couch, filming on my phone, and there are no lights on, so this is crappy quality, sorry, but I'm really not enjoying Here's to Us, which is sad. I do think that there's like an anxiety element to it, of like the panic that your partner could be in love with someone else, and not that I like have that issue with my husband, but you know, I think a lot of people have that fear, and this book like really plays into that. And then like 140 pages in, and I'm bored. There's nothing really like happening. I don't know. I'm debating DNFing it, which is so bad because it's been sitting on my shelf for so long and I spent money on the book. But I don't know. I'll probably give it until like 50%. I think I'm at like 35 right now. See how I feel at that point, but there's a chance we have our first DNF of 2024. My car, obviously, just came to Starbucks to read. I am 54% of the way through the book, and I'm still not enjoying it, unfortunately. It is fast to read, so I was talking to my husband last night about if I should DNF it or not, and we decided that because we have a really long car ride today, I should just try to get it done. But if I don't finish it by the end of the day, or I'm still not enjoying it by the end of the day, then we're gonna cut it. But I did also start listening to the audiobook for The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, the third book of the Inheritance Game series, and I am enjoying that a lot. I ordered the physical copy of the book from Book Outlet the other day for like $4, which is amazing. But it hasn't come in yet, and I don't have like the Kindle version of it, so all I can do is listen to the audiobook. But we'll see how things progress. If I still am not liking this, I'm going to start Magnolia Parks because I'm actually really excited to read it. It's been 2.5 years since I read Daisy Hates, so it's definitely time. My office is a mess, which we're going to ignore, but I just finished Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, and as you've heard me say a few times, I really just did not enjoy it. I did rate it 3 stars. I was debating for a long time between 2.5 and 3, and looking at other books that I've rated 2.5 stars, it just didn't feel like it was that low, because there were some moments that were like entertaining, but this was not like my thing. I don't know. I didn't love it. So I thought there were a lot of like comments made that would be like offensive to some people in the queer community, which, given that one of the authors himself is gay, I thought it was interesting that they were included. I can't breathe. Oh my god. Also, there was a reference to They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which I really enjoyed that book, but the reference made me cringe, and it doesn't usually happen for me. So I don't know if I'm just like, I'm 26 and 5 months pregnant, and this book is written for like 16-year-olds. Like, I don't know if that's what it is, but wasn't my favorite. So we are now moving on to Magnolia Parks, A Long Way Home, and maybe we'll listen to more of The Final Gambit, but we're about to go to New York for the weekend, so I don't know if that's really going to happen while we're like in the city, but we will see. I was trying to wait for my book order to get here to film this update so I could like physically hold the book and talk to you about it, but it's still not here, and we're rapidly losing daylight, and the predicted delivery time just keeps getting pushed back by like hours at a time. So we're just gonna film it now. A truck just drove by. I was like, I wonder if that's my books, but it's not. If you're watching this video and seeing time lapses and thinking, wow, they still have Christmas decorations up. Yes, it's January 18th and our Christmas tree and all of our wreaths are still up. We'll get to it eventually. But anyways, I read The Final Gambit, and by read, I mean I listened to the audiobook on Spotify by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely my favorite of the 3 books in the Inheritance Game series. I rated it 4.5 stars. It's not a 5-star series for me. I think I definitely like The Naturals better, but I loved the little like shout outs to UConn. It's my alma mater, so it's fun to read about, and enjoyed the series overall. I think that the love triangle for me got a little frustrating. If you're not somebody who likes love triangles, that's a thing. I think there are times that it's done in a way that is a lot better than it was in this book. Like, I think Jenny Han does that very well, especially in like the Summer I Turned Pretty series, but I didn't love the way it was done in this one. So I think that's what like brought it down from being a 5-star series to me. But is it a better angle? No. On top of that, I started reading Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, and my physical book is upstairs. I've been reading it, going back and forth between my Kindle and reading on my phone on the Kindle app. I love this book. I can't believe it took me so long to pick it back up. I started it in August of 2022. Actually, it was September of 2022 because I read MP1 in August and then Daisy Hates in September and then got this one right after. I wish that I had just continued it because I genuinely love it. I'm 33% of the way through, like just under 200 pages, and I feel in my heart right now it's gonna be a 5-star for me, which the first two were not. I think I rated them either 4 or 4.5 for Magnolia Parks and like 3 for Daisy Hates. So the fact that this is going like so well for me is unexpected, but I've cried more than once, and yeah, I don't know, I guess finally figuring out what like December 3rd means to them, if you've read it you know, like broke my heart. But I love Magnolia and BJ. I do think it's funny because the themes, I would say, there are some similar things to what was going on in Here's to Us, but I like how it is done in this book a lot better. I don't think there's any like, I don't know, you know that they're in love with each other. They don't question whether they're in love with each other. They know that they're in love with each other. So I think that because of that, I feel a lot less frustrated with the things that are going on in the book, but that's where we're at right now. I did also start the audiobook for The Rosie Effect by Graham Simpson. Just like with the Rosie Project, I'm not like super invested in it. I don't like feel the need to be listening to it all the time. It's not anything that is like wowing me. But I am excited to be able to cross that one off the list as well. So that's where we're at. So far we've finished the Inheritance Game series in this. We've finished the duology of, what is that first book called? What If It's Us and Here's to Us. We finished, there was something else that I read, right? Why is my brain not functioning right now? Pregnancy brain has been at an all-time high today. But I think we finished 3 series so far. Oh, I read Cruel Summer. Okay, so we finished 3 series so far. I've been able to cross those off the list. So maybe by the end of this, we'll have 5 done or 6. Did I read a 6th book? I don't even remember anymore, but after I finish Magnolia Parks and the Rosie Project, we'll definitely be done. So stay tuned to see what I end up rating those and what I think of them. But I think that's pretty good to have a third of my like uncompleted series crossed off. I look like an absolute disaster, and I don't know if you can tell, but I've been crying. I just finished this. I need to know if Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing, gives any sort of answers to what happened at the end of this. I don't know. I've been seeing all these people reading Into the Dark, and I like immediately went to go honestly buy it on my Kindle. Didn't realize that that was a like they all had like arcs and it doesn't actually come out until February 13th. And I don't what am I supposed to do until then? I can't just like stay on this cliffhanger. Oh my god. I have no words, obviously. 5 stars, absolutely, hands down. I need to go through and add all of my like tabs to it. I read it on my Kindle, so I just need to put my like actual highlights and stuff in the book. Yeah, I'm honestly in shock. I don't know what to do with myself now. Wow. Okay, I have like 20% left of the Rosie effect, and then we will wrap this up after that. But oh my god. Okay, as you may be able to tell, one of my bookshelves is empty and I have to take care of the other one still. I'm in the process of moving all of my books downstairs into our living room because my office is becoming a nursery. So I just wanted to address that quick. But I finished The Rosie Effect by Graeme Simsion. It's hard to talk about what this book is about without spoiling the first one, although it's on the back of the book. So they like get pregnant, and it's really interesting because the guy is a scientist with a PhD and she's like a med student. So there's a lot of very like medical things about pregnancy that are talked about, which as a pregnant person was very interesting to listen to. But nothing mind-blowing. I didn't really love the first one either, so like it's not super surprising to me that this was not like a wow book for me, but I am glad that I read it and can like feel okay about finishing that series. So I ended up rating it 3 stars, but I wanted to do like the final wrap up of this series video. So we started with Cruel Summer by Morgan Elizabeth, which I rated 3 stars. I thought it was okay. And then I read Here's to Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli, which I also rated 3 stars, and as you heard me talk about, I really didn't love it. And then I read The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which I rated 4.5 stars and really enjoyed that. And then I read Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, which I rated 5 stars and have recommended to like 6 people since that they need to read the series. And then The Rosie Effect by Graeme Simsion. So we've got through 5 books in this video. It's 4 series that are completely done, although I know Morgan Elizabeth announced that there's another book coming out to the 'Tis the Season series, so we'll see when I get to that. It doesn't come out until I think like March or something though, so or maybe June. I don't remember what the date is, but it's done for now. So it's 5 series off the list. I think 11 to go, but I feel like I can read normal books now. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.